I haven't done a kit build video for a while, and I thought I've got this Midnight Designs kit for FT8 called the Phaser that I thought I'd do a series of build and test videos on. I've got a link below to the kit, and you can see it there right on the screen now. Now I'm going to do my usual approach of building and testing the kit module by module. The manual for the kit is really well done, and they actually do it module by module, but I likely won't be following the manual except for specific tips, and I'll likely just build from the schematic and test it piece by piece as I've done before. So the usual warning, I don't mind if I have a problem with the kit and I end up stuffing something up. So anyway, this is my approach. It's the non-read the manual approach, and I think I'll go through that way. So just a quick note on FT8 to start with. FT8 is a low-power digital mode that allows for a simple CQ, a response, and exchange of call signs, location, and received power. I'll put a link below to the WSJT-X software, and what you're seeing on the screen here is WSJT-X running. This isn't hooked up to a transmitter or anything, so the software is just listening and transmitting on the audio ports of the laptop. So it uses the microphone for received audio and the speaker for transmitted audio. And indeed, that's one of the interesting design aspects of the Phaser, is there's no rig control between the WSJT-X and the Phaser. It uses the absence or the presence of the audio output from WSJT-X to turn the transmitter off and on respectively. So kind of an interesting design choice there. Obviously, that's a lot simpler than trying to figure out how to cat control the Phaser itself. So interesting. It'd be interesting to see how that works. So let's do a pretend CQ for those of you who haven't seen FT8 before. So I've put in my call sign in the configuration there, NA5Y. The first thing to do is to pick a transmit frequency. So you can see here, this is with respect to the start of the FT8 on the particular band you're on. So we happen to be on 20 meters, and the FT8 band on 20 meters starts at 14.074. So this is with respect to 14.074. Let me pick, and you do that by pressing Control to get both the same. Let's pick 1500 as the transmit frequency. It was a little bit above 1500, but you get the picture. So when I transmit that signal, the audio tone that's going to be coming out is 1500 hertz, but the actual transmitted value will be with respect to 14.074. So let's click on Enable. And the way FT8 works is it goes through a transmit cycle and then a receive cycle. So it's currently on a receive cycle at the moment, and as soon as that green bar reaches the end there, it'll start transmitting. And you can hear there, it's a bit faint. Let me turn it up a bit. So that's the FT8 signal going out there. Now, it's not a fixed 1500. There is a variation in there that communicates the call sign, that communicates the location, and so on and so forth. So let's get back over to the schematic and the kit, and we'll do a little bit of a quick walkthrough of that. So just walking through the kit itself, it comes very well boxed. I'm not going to do an unboxing or anything like that, but you can see the parts are clearly labeled, they come clearly packaged. I actually got the enclosure too, because it looked pretty cool. So I've got that. So I got the kit, I got the enclosure. What we'll walk through next is kind of the function of the kit and a quick walkthrough of the schematic. So let's do a quick high-level walkthrough of the transmitter. And sort of quickly, let's go through the following. So starting with the power here. Input is around 12 volts. The power section contains two regulators, one at 3.3 volts for the microcontroller, the SI5351, and the other one is 6 volts for the remainder of the circuit. So the other interesting thing is, so as I mentioned, the kit uses the presence or absence of the audio signal from WSJT-X to turn on or off the transmitter. So this portion here is the transmit, receive, and switching. We'll go through that in a little more detail when I build it up, but essentially the audio signal comes in here, flows through comparators here, which, depending on the absence or presence of the audio signal, turn this circuitry off or on. So next, let's talk about the microcontroller. So this uses a PIC microcontroller, and it has some very simple duties. Basically, there is some calibration in the microcontroller. The microcontroller itself controls an SI5351, which you've seen in some of my other videos. Now you'll see there's SCA and SDL, so it's communicating via I2C to the SI5351 there. And then interestingly, this kit, instead of using the 0 and 90 degree capability out of the SI5351, they just send a single one of the clocks to this pair of D-type flip-flops, and this is configured to produce the 0 and 90 degree LO signals. So interesting choice there. I've seen this elsewhere. It certainly simplifies the programming you have to do. Yeah, interesting design choice there. So moving on some more, we have the next component is the receive mixer right here. So the receive mixer uses an SA602, which you've seen before, and it's an NE602 here. They're kind of one and the same, but it uses that as a direct conversion mixer. And one of the other interesting things about this kit is there's no attempt to remove the unwanted sideband here. So signal comes in here, RF signal comes in here, the LO signal comes in here, so it just sends a single LO signal to the NE602, and then out here you'll get the double sideband signal coming out of there. Now, I think that the reason for that is, in this case, it doesn't really matter that you're receiving an unwanted sideband there. When we get to building up this component, we'll actually see that unwanted sideband there. So the next portion is this receive amplifier here. So uses this MC1458 and the pair of op amps inside it, configured to give some extra gain. So now we move on to the transmitter portion. And again, it starts with the audio signal from WSJT-X. And as you can see here, while it's okay to receive double sideband, you certainly don't want to be transmitting it. So this is the sort of classic phase shift network, which takes the audio signal, produces the 0 and 90 degree version of that audio signal. And it being a Talo mixer, you can see here, just as I did in one of my circuits, it's actually plucking off the 0, 90, 180, and 270. And then it sends those signals to this pair of multiplexer demultiplexers. Now this is the younger brother of the FST3253, in that there's two independent ICs here, each having a single or a double multiplexer demultiplexer. So moving on now, the next portion of the circuit is the RF amplifier. So the signal passes through this RF combiner here. You've seen that in my other videos, and then through a series of these transistors here, which amplifies the signal before finally passing out through a low-pass filter to remove the unwanted RF harmonics. So I'm going to build in that order, starting with the power supply and the microcontroller, and testing each section as we go. I love these little kits. I like supporting companies that issue these kind of kits. It's good for the hobby, and it's good to learn about all this stuff. So anyway, this will wrap this video for now. In the next video, I'll be covering the power supply and the microcontroller.